get rid of everything. Whatever's not serving you in any way. That's the vibe that I'm on this upcoming year.
Every year at the beginning of the year, I see so many videos of people decluttering their lives. This is like the number one piece of advice people tend to give at the beginning of the year is like, start fresh. And I keep seeing people joke about like, oh, my 2026 rebrand starts with me like decluttering all these things I'm not wearing, purging my home.
26 things we are not bringing into 2026.
I actually think this is some of the worst advice that you could give at the beginning of the year. I think starting 2026 off decluttering is a terrible idea. And I say this as someone who used to declutter very consistently. It was a big part of my life, but I've actually kind of stopped decluttering for the most part. And it's really rewired my mindset because I realized what was happening to me, and I know what also happens to so many other people, is it's less about the decluttering and it's more about the cycle. And the cycle goes, accumulate stuff, feel overwhelmed by said accumulated stuff, purge it all so you can start fresh, accumulate stuff, get overwhelmed by accumulated stuff, purge, accumulate, overwhelmed, purge. And the cycle perpetuates because that active decluttering prevents you from ever having to learn how to make smarter and more conscious purchases that you will actually love long term. You're not really held accountable for anything you've purchased because you have this out of, I can just declutter it all and try again. And that used to be me. Decluttering was a huge part of my life. It was something I did very consistently that I was super proud of. I kind of looked at decluttering as proof that I was a very conscious consumer because I was getting rid of things that didn't serve me, when in reality, if I really was that conscious consumer that I believed that I was, I wouldn't have this many things that didn't serve me that I would need to declutter on a monthly basis. And there was a comment on one of my videos at one point that genuinely changed the way that I view this, and I'm not kidding, I'm not exaggerating, this changed my life. The comment said something along the lines of, if we were never able to declutter the things that we have accumulated, and instead we had to sit in our homes surrounded by all these random purchases that maybe we didn't fully think through, or maybe we wouldn't have bought otherwise, we would shop very differently. But because again, we have this out of like, I can just get rid of this thing, there's no pressure to shop smarter or to learn yourself better. Because for me, every time that I did that, it just led to a cycle of decluttering down the road where I was never actually learning any lessons and not really becoming a smarter consumer.
And I think the fact that so many of us start every January trying to purge and declutter our homes is only proof of the fact that this is not an effective strategy. If doing this really was going to reset you and put you in a great headspace for the beginning of the year, you wouldn't continue to make the same shopping mistakes that lead you to have to do this every single January. The fact that this gets reignited every year is proof that it is an ineffective strategy.
And that's not to say you can never declutter ever, but I really challenge you to play with the things that you have now and then maybe consider decluttering down the road. But take that active decluttering away from being the default action. And instead, I have 3 strategies that I want to talk through to help you get the most out of the things that you've already purchased instead of decluttering them. So there are 3 categories and all 3 of them have like subcategories. I guess not subcategories, but there are 3 categories and then I go into many examples, okay? That's it. Not subcategories, examples. And the first one I want to talk about is maybe the obvious one, but it is wear things the wrong way. I am a big fan of this when you have to wear things the wrong way and suddenly like your entire closet, your makeup collection like triples in size. And I was thinking about this a lot recently because my friend who's a professional makeup artist did my makeup. He came here, we were literally sitting in the same spot. He's doing my face and I'm asking about all the products he's applying, and so many things he's reaching for are perhaps labeled to go somewhere else on the face, but he's just mixing and matching. So great example. The Nina Park lip trend has been so huge lately and I've seen a lot of people trying to recreate it, and a hallmark of that look is the kind of contoured, sculpted, but still kind of blurred out brown shade around the lips. And for me, I've been thinking, I don't quite have a lip liner that's that shade. Well, you know what he used? He didn't use a lip liner, he used an eyeshadow crayon. And then I was like, well, duh, oh my gosh, I have so many eyeshadow crayons that are like a neutral brown. So that's actually what I did today. I used this eyeshadow stick that I have from Kaja, love this. It's dual-ended. I used the brown to kind of contour my lip line, and actually get this, I don't particularly like that look on myself and my lip shape. Like, I think it ended up fine because I went in with a lip liner, kind of blended it out, but it was a great moment for me to realize I probably don't need to buy any of these products that are like dedicated lip contour products because I don't think that's necessarily a look that I personally want to implement every day. Okay, with clothing, there are so many examples. You have to think outside the box. Like one I do often, I love a boat neck. You just take any regular t-shirt that you have and wear it backwards and suddenly you have a boat neck top. I've also worn a top as a skirt before, kind of just like finagled it, thrown a belt over the top just to kind of hide any seams, and then suddenly I have a mini skirt. You could take a baggier button down, give it a bit more structure by kind of cinching the back. You could use just like a safety pin to do this. I've seen people wear bracelets as hair accessories, especially on someone with like really thick hair. You can wrap it around a ponytail. I think that looks so cute. A classic one is a scarf as a belt. That's always an option. Like you do not need any new clothes. You just need to wear the ones that you have in ways that you've never worn them before. You can also do this with your accessories. Like if you take a hoop earring and you have a charm from any necklace, you can slide that onto the bottom of the hoop earring. Suddenly you have like little charms on your hoops. Mix and match your stuff together, okay? So that's number one. You need to use everything the wrong way. It's very easy in makeup. Like anything could be anything. Your bullet lipstick can be blush, like the possibilities are endless. But number 2 on my list, to feel more inspired by the things that you already have, is to copy a formula. This is a great way to kind of get out of a rut, especially in your wardrobe. If you feel like you're always wearing certain items the same way, try to challenge yourself to copy a formula. And there are a few creators that I love for this. One here on YouTube is Beep World. She has a few different videos where she will give different outfit formulas and then you can recreate it with anything that you have.
Next, we have our t-shirt paired with pants and a cardigan. Another combo that is very simple, but that I think always looks good. Something about styling t-shirts in place of a dressier or girlier top really just gives an outfit that effortless coolness to me. I love t-shirts with cardigans, especially for this reason, because cardigans can feel so soft and drapey. I love the boxy structure a t-shirt can add. And this is also one you can make as simple or as bold as you want.
Okay, here's my take on this. I very rarely wear a graphic tee. I really don't have very many, but I pulled out this I Heart New York one and I was like, how could I style this? I paired it with some bold pattern pants that honestly I normally just style with like a plain shirt. And this was a fun combo. It got me out of my comfort zone and it kind of reimagined some of the clothes that I already have in my wardrobe that I really haven't been wearing that much recently.
I specifically love watching these videos when I'm feeling uninspired by my wardrobe because the thing is, like, you have not maximized your options yet. I can guarantee you that. There are so many different combinations that you have not thought to try, but following an outfit formula kind of forces you to step outside of your normal pattern. On TikTok, I definitely recommend following Mama in Denim. She will give daily outfit formulas. So she will say like, hey, today you should wear this, this, and this. That's another great one if you want to feel inspired by the things that you have. She will give very specific formulas, and so often they are items that I would not think to pair together out of my own wardrobe, and then I pull them and I'm like, wait, this looks great.
I'm picking your outfits this weekend, and this is what you'll be wearing. First weekend outfit formula is a comfy casual outfit with an open denim button down. That's it. This is a very casual outfit, and I did that intentionally because it's a weekend outfit. Denim shirt adds that extra texture, that easy way to elevate an outfit with really doing almost nothing. It makes an outfit appear more complex, yet it is a neutral and goes with everything. It has a magic power.
Okay, I gave this one a try too. I very rarely wear a denim jacket, so this was kind of a fun reminder to pull this out of my closet. And I kept the same graphic tee from before, and I think it looks cute to kind of tie in the red, and I was really pleased with the way this came out.
And suddenly I feel very refreshed and inspired by my wardrobe.
A formula can apply to anything though. You can use this towards makeup as well and say, hey, on Monday, the formula I want to follow is a simple eye and a bold lip. On Tuesday, the formula I want to follow is a pop of color on the eyelid. On Wednesday, I want to do blush draping. Like, you can apply these formulas to every part of your life. It doesn't just have to be your wardrobe.
Number 3, you need to be remixing, okay? This can go a few different ways. We have some extremes that are going to involve cutting, maybe even dyeing, or we have some temporary options, okay? So we'll start with the temporary ones. These are a little bit easier. Non-committal, okay? If you're bored of your sneakers, one that I love, change out the laces. It's so simple, but it makes a huge difference. It's also nice if you feel like your sneakers are looking kind of dirty, putting new laces in makes them look very refreshed. But this is something I've seen done really cute with different ribbons. You could do patterns. I've seen people do it with lace. It's so cute, and suddenly it's an entirely new shoe. One that is semi-cheating because it will require you probably to buy a new thing, but I wanted to include this because it's something I did recently. So I just got my thirds pierced, so now I have 1, 2, 3. It's been bothering me that the second and thirds are both like little stones. I don't know. In my head, I'm like, they're too similar. One of these needs to be a hoop. And I'm going through my earring collection and I have some hoops, but I'm like, nothing is quite as small as I want it to be for a second hole. So then I got the idea of, well, why don't I just get a chain? And I was actually kind of inspired by this. This chain is one that I have from Idol. I worked with Idol before, but this is not sponsored, but that is where this chain is from. And that's kind of what inspired it, of like, okay, why don't I get a chain to put around this second earring to connect these two earrings, and then it's going to give me visually the look of a hoop and kind of that elongated length that I'm craving, but I can still continue to wear the earrings that I have in it every day. So I did order a chain. I would show you the before and after, but it has not arrived yet. However, don't worry, piercing people, I'm not going to take out the third yet because it's pretty new. It's too new to take out of my ear. I'm going to wrap the chain from the front to the back on the second, and then maybe I'll move it from the second to the third. I don't know. The possibilities are endless, but the point I'm getting at here, again, we're remixing, finding new ways to wear things that I already have. And in a different scenario, maybe you already have a chain around your home. Maybe you have like an old bracelet and maybe you're more handy than I am and you have some pliers and you can make your own chain out of an old bracelet you were going to get rid of, and then you can wrap that around your ear.
You can remix your makeup too. A great example is a Frankenstein product, which is essentially when you take a bunch of powders, mix them together and make a new one. Or even right now when the bronzer trend is very big, you can mix together some of your powder bronzer and your powder blush. Just take a little bit of rubbing alcohol and repress them, and you've essentially made your own custom bronzer.
This is the container of choice today. I have already done a bronzer in one of these before, and I do use this daily. It's the Milani one. This is Essence. Honestly, I don't think I've ever used this one. This is from She Glam. This is a very bright one, and it's from Revolution. We have Primark. Are you ready? Really close up what the blush looks like. Can you see all of those glitter particles?
Okay, now we're getting into the cutting and the dyeing, but I've been thinking about this a lot ever since I rewatched Honey recently. And I will just say in general, the early 2000s are one of my favorite eras for fashion, even though I know that's not everyone's opinion, but I loved that time. And something that really inspired me throughout the movie was what Jessica Alba's character did with so many of her shirts. So she had a ton of t-shirts, but they were like cut up in different sections to make an off-shoulder tee, or she would cut into the sleeves of it to give it more of like a butterfly look. And these are relatively simple DIYs, even if you don't sew and you're not super crafty in that way, like it's just cutting and tying. And my friend and I who watched the movie, we both were like, wait, I kind of want to go through my old t-shirts now and like cut them up into something new. And if you didn't want to do something quite as complex as those t-shirts, even just taking a tee you have and cutting it into a cropped shirt gives it new life, makes it something fresh. I really love this with menswear, which is like a baggier t-shirt cropped. I think it's such a cute look, and it's something to easily DIY and feel re-inspired by something that is just sitting in the bottom of your drawer.
Okay, and for dyeing, I know this one seems very intimidating, but I promise anyone can do this. It is much simpler than it appears. But if the thing holding you back from wearing a lot of your clothes is the color, it is such an easy fix to dye it a new color. This really comes in handy if you've purchased something online and you thought it was going to be one shade, and when it arrived, the photo didn't quite do the color justice and you just don't like the tone of it. You can very easily dye it to a new color that you'll actually enjoy and wear.
And here's the thing, this is not to say you should or could never buy new things and you should never declutter. What I'm more so saying is once you remove decluttering from this default pattern and instead sit with your purchases longer, interact with them in new ways, in fun and refreshed ways, you will become a better shopper. So then in the future, when you are buying things, there are things you are less likely to declutter if you do a declutter down the road. So no, you do not need to start 2026 off purging your home. And I hope these tips gave you new ways to interact with the things that you already have. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Happy 2026, and I will go ahead and see you in my next one.